Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to the very first episode of Finance Friday here on YouTube. My name is Susan Wanjiku and I'm the founder of the Legacy Hub KE. I am very thrilled to be on here and to have you guys here. In today's episode, I want us to talk about something that is very close to my heart. We've been talking a lot, if you're already from my Instagram, you know we've been talking a lot about investing, saving, budgeting, and one of the things that keeps recurring when we're talking about investing is investing in your retirement, or what we'd like to refer to as retirement planning. So that's what we are about to talk about today. So what exactly is retirement and why is it an important aspect in your financial planning? Retirement is ideally being able to live off of your investments without necessarily having to work in order to earn your money. So you can achieve retirement by having sources of income that do not necessarily have to be earned through you working, okay? Which then indicates also that retirement therefore is not an age per se, it is a number, because you can still get to retirement age and be broke. Okay, and so retirement is not necessarily an age that you get to. It is a place or a space in life where you get to, and you don't necessarily have to work in order to earn money for your day-to-day. You have investments, you have sources of income that are doing that for you. All right. I also like to say that retirement is not an old people thing. I see a lot of people in their 20s and 30s, and when people are having conversations about retirement, for one reason or the other, they feel like that does not apply to them at all. And that is a very unfortunate thing, because in Africa today, I mean, even in Kenya, one of the challenges that most young professionals will tell you they are facing or experiencing is the black tax phenomenon, where much as you want to save, much as you want to invest and really just propel your life forward when it comes to finances and investments, a lot of people say that they do not have money left to save or even to invest. And one of the causative agents for that is that a lot of money is going back home to take care of our parents or our siblings who are already retired, okay? And so that creates a scenario where instead of passing down generational wealth, LLCs, trust funds, what is happening in Africa or in Kenya is that you find that we are unfortunately passing down poverty from one generation to another. Okay, and so why retirement is an important aspect. If you're a young professional listening to me right now, we cannot be complaining about black tax, and then when we are old and now it's our children who are young professionals, they will be complaining about the same thing that we were complaining about. You see, when you know better, you need to do better. All right. And so retirement planning needs to be something that you actively include in your financial planning, majorly because your children or your children's children shouldn't be your insurance policy. They shouldn't be your retirement plan. So here are the 5 steps to retirement planning, just to assist you to know exactly where do I start and where do I go from there. So step number 1, you need to decide when you would like to retire. Remember, we've already said that retirement is not necessarily an age. So there's what is set by the government as a statutory retirement age, 60, 65, depending on the country or the company that you're working for. But you could choose to retire earlier than that if you want to. So if I'm 25 right now and I'm saying that I want to retire by the age of 45, that means that I have 20 years to save and invest in such a manner that by the time I'm turning 45 and I want to retire, I have investments that are ideally financing my lifestyle all through out. All right. The second thing, I mean, while you're still determining when you want to retire, the other thing that you really need to take into consideration is, and I know this is very a difficult conversation to even have with yourself, is how long do you foresee yourself living after retirement? Because I mean, if you retire at the age of 50 and maybe you will probably die at 80, 90 or 100, it means that the amount of investing that you have done is money that could last you 30 years post-retirement or 40 years post-retirement. That is a very important aspect to just really just think about and ask yourself, okay, what will I be doing during this time period, and what does my lifestyle look like after retirement, or what we are calling post retirement. So you need to set retirement goals. That is step number one. Determine when you want to retire. What does retirement look like for you? How does that lifestyle, when you think about it, exactly how does it look like, and how long do you tentatively want to plan for in terms of years post retirement? As you can see, very, very difficult conversation to have with yourself, but it is important because it sets the mood, or rather it sets the precedent as to how you're going to invest, how much you're going to invest, and what you're looking at financially. So step number one, set retirement goals. Step number two is to take stock of where you are at today. So you want to consider factors such as what you consider as assets that you currently own, what your liabilities are, whether you are in debt and what kind of debt it is, and if you have any money whatsoever going towards retirement planning. As you're looking at your assets, you also want to ask yourself, these assets that I'm acquiring or these investments that I'm making, which of them is geared towards retirement planning? It is very important to start now and to start today, if at all there is nothing going into retirement planning, because the most important factor that you want to take advantage of when you're doing retirement planning is the time aspect of it. And that is why I tell people in their 20s and early 30s, this is the best time to start retirement planning, because compound interest is a factor of time. And so when you start investing towards your retirement early, you stand a better chance of achieving your goals sooner or faster, or even just having a very good amount of money invested because you started early. So you first of all need to really, really, truly identify, where am I at right now? And do I have any money, whether it's been deducted by my employer, or if you're a self-employed person, do I have any money or any assets that are geared towards retirement planning? So step number three, after you have taken stock of where you are at today, you need to determine exactly how much money needs to be going towards your retirement fund every month. And in order to do this, you need to determine what your retirement budget would look like. Now, obviously, you can't have the exact figure of how much you would need per month to live sustainably, to cater for your moving around, your bills, medical care, and all those things. So it helps to really just determine, how much is my lifestyle costing me right now? Okay, so you want to look at your mandatory bills and expenses, your entertainment budget, wants, leisure, miscellaneous spending. Exactly how much money are you spending on a monthly basis now in 2021, right? Most specialists usually say that you require at least 80 to 90% of that budget in your retirement for the bare minimum. So if you're spending 100,000 every month right now, you will probably need pretty much the same 90,000 or 80,000 for the bare minimum expenses during retirement. Now, depending on the kind of lifestyle you desire to live after retirement, so if you want to travel after retirement, you want to factor that in as you're coming up with your monthly retirement budget. If you're those people who really just want to do philanthropy work, or to mentor, whatever it is that you want to do post-retirement, or even if it is keep working, you probably need 80 to 90% of what you're spending right now per month to cater for the bare minimum expenses during retirement. That means if you are the extra type of person, you would probably need even more than what you're spending right now. Now, you want to extrapolate that figure. If it is 100,000 per month. That means in a year you're using around 1.2 million. All right. And so extrapolate that to 30 years post-retirement. 30 years times 1.2 million. Extrapolate that to 40 years post-retirement. That is 40 times 1.2 million. That's exactly how much you would need to have invested so that, you know, you're getting the monthly payouts from your investments, or you're getting interest from your investments worth, you know, 100,000 per month or 120,000 per month. So that is how to go about retirement planning. You need to at least have a rough idea or a rough estimate of what those numbers look like. That's the only way to determine today how much do I need to invest. Now, if you go online, there are, and you just Google compound interest calculators, there are tools online that could help you really just set your savings goal. I need to have X amount of million Kenyan shillings or $1 million by this age, and then the calculator will help you just work backwards to identify how much that would look like per month in terms of saving or investing, so that by the time you're at that age, you have that amount of money to help you retire. Step number 4 is to determine your retirement sources of income. So this is to determine the kind of investments you are going to start doing today, or you're going to add onto your portfolio, that are going to form part of what you will consider as your passive income sources once you retire. Okay, now depending on whether you are employed or not, or whether you have certain benefits with your employer or not, this varies per individual. Okay, so I want to talk about 3 things. I want us to talk about NSSF, which is the statutory deduction for every Kenyan, okay, the government statutory pension deduction. And then there's also some people who are employed and their employers have retirement benefit plans. And then we're also going to talk about, if you're a self-employed person, what are some of the options that you have available for you. Now, a lot of Kenyans have NSSF and NSSF only, and I mean, I dare say that that is not enough really to sort you out for retirement. And I have my calculator here with me, and I want us to just do some very quick math to prove this point. Okay, so some people have NSSF maybe being deducted around 200 bob, others it's I think 900 or 1200. So let me even, I mean 1080, and then we have also 1200. Let us work with the bare minimum, or rather the maximum that I've heard of, which is I think around 1200. Now, if I'm 25 today and I'm working in an organization, or maybe for the government, and they're only deducting me 1200 per month, I want you to just do this quick math with me and see exactly how much you're looking at retirement, if that is your only retirement plan. Now, if let's assume that I'm 25 today and I want to retire by age 55. So I have around 30 years left to plan for my retirement. So if I convert this 30 years into months, that is around 360 months. Now, if I have 360 months to save up and plan for retirement, and I'm being deducted 1200 shillings per month, that means the total amount of money that I'm expecting is 360 months multiplied by 1200. That comes to around 432,000 Kenyan shillings, literally less than 5,000. Okay, and even if we are being generous and we assume that this investment is interest bearing throughout the month, even if we assign maybe 300,000 extra or 400,000, which is impossible given that this is NSSF, you're looking at less than 1 million Kenyan shillings. So you are 55 and 60, you are now retired, so which means you're no longer employable or pensionable. How long will a million bob last you for? Will it last you the first year post-retirement, the second year? Will you even get to the third or the fourth year? So this is why I tell people, if you only just have NSSF, you have to supplement that with something else. Otherwise, you will grow old poor. All right. Now, if you have an employer that is already deducting you pension, All right. You also want to follow up again exactly on how much exactly are you being deducted. Remember when we talked about step number 1, determining when you would want to retire, and then step number 3, we also said exactly how much does that look like. That is determined by the kind of lifestyle you want to live, right? The kind of budget that you're going to be working with or dealing with then. So you want to really do proper calculation. Don't be ignorant about your finances. Don't just say, oh, my employer deducts me. Find out exactly how much you're being deducted. Are they contributing for you, and how much does that look like after retirement? Okay, so you really want to, as I'm saying, you want to confirm the figures so that you can know, is what they are doing for me enough, or do I need to supplement this? Okay, now if you are self-employed, this is not an excuse or a reason why you shouldn't plan for your retirement. It is, I keep telling people, we already said that retirement is not, it is a smart people thing. Okay, so it's not an employee benefit. It is something that you need to plan for actively, whether you are employed or not. All right, and so when you look at it that way, this therefore means that if I am unemployed, there are avenues that I can use, okay, to save up for my own retirement. Okay, and this is where the personal pension plans come in. So you're going to find that a lot of financial institutions like banks nowadays have individual or personal pension plans. A lot of insurance companies also are offering individual pension plans. Do not complicate this with a life insurance policy. A life insurance policy is a completely different thing. We are talking about personal pension plans. So if NSSF is not enough, you can supplement that with a personal pension plan. If your employer is not doing enough, you can still have your own individual personal pension plan on the side. And if you're a self-employed person, I highly recommend that you have a personal pension plan as an account that you're funding on a monthly basis without fail. Now, most of these personal pension plans allow you to contribute from as little as 500 Kenyan shillings. So if you're a mama mboga, you can save up for your pension. If you are in the informal sector or in the form, anyone can literally at least start with the 500. And obviously, the more you make in your business or the more you earn as an employee, then you should also ensure that you're increasing your investment amount significantly. Okay, so most people recommend 10% of your net income should go towards retirement planning, but if you can do more, especially if you're starting late, definitely do more if you can. All right, so these personal pension plans allow you to invest from as little as 500 Kenyan shillings, and there's no cap to how high you can go. So you can do 1,000, 20,000, 50,000 if that is what you are able to do. The other interesting thing about these personal pension plans is you're going to also realize that they are not taxed as heavily as short-term investments, such as, say, maybe money market funds, for instance. So you're going to find that money market funds are taxed at, say, 15% withholding tax of your interest income. Also, treasury bills and bonds are also taxed depending on the amount and the kind of bill or bond, say around 10%. But you're going to find that according to the KRA Act, you are exempted for tax up to 19,999. So anything 20,000 and below per month is exempted from tax. Okay, and so that's why you're going to see that when you're filling in your P9, you're going to notice that you have up to 240,000 per year exemption from tax from your pension contributions. Okay, and that applies. So if you're not employed and you're doing this, you could actually claim this when you're filing your business income or your taxes, so that you can also get the tax exemption as well. So anything 20,000 and below is exempted from tax. So you see, even you benefit from tax exemption. And I've seen a lot of people diversify their investments for tax efficiency by saving through pension plans because of the just the tax relief, or rather the tax benefits of it. Another advantage of saving through retirement plans is also, for some companies, you'll find that some companies such as Old Mutual or even Britam, you'll find that they also allow you to take loans against your pension, maybe mortgage loans or something. It's not something that I don't recommend playing around with your pension like that unless you're certain that you're going to be able to pay back that loan. Don't burn your pension savings. So that I mean, I keep telling people time and time again, there is pretty much a loan for everything, but there's no loans for retirement. No one is going to loan you money and tell you go retire with that money. By the time you're done, you're probably gone. Okay. So you can pretty much get credit facilities for almost everything, but your pension and your retirement, that is something that you have to guard jealously. Okay, so those are the options that you have. Now, another tip that I'm also going to give you: ensure that as you've once you start getting the groove of it and you are already contributing sufficiently into your personal pension fund, or your employer is deducting you an amount that you are happy with, it is also good to combine personal pension plans with other forms of investment. So if you're into real estate and you want to get rentals, if you know, it's basically what that does is that it improves your income replacement ratio. So what is an income replacement ratio? An income replacement ratio, it's the rate at which your pension savings or investment can easily replace your income. So if I used to earn 100,000 per month before I retired, my investments should ideally, on the bare minimum, be able to pay me that much, 100,000 per month. So to improve your income replacement ratio, you can combine your pension money together with other forms of investments, long-term investments that could actually be giving you passive income in the long run. So don't be those people, as a disclaimer, don't be those people that just have only one thing that you're saying, this is my retirement plan, whether that is rentals or not. One of the things you're going to realize is that there are days that if you have rentals, you don't have tenants, right? And your needs and your requirements as a retiree will not stop for no man. So you need to combine these assets in a way that will give you the best income replacement ratio. Step number 5, ensure that you evaluate the risks that you face now and in the future as a retiree. The two major risks that I want to highlight are the inflation risk and health risks. Okay, so one of the things that we already know is that inflation is always gonna be doing its thing, and so you want to take into consideration time value of money, even as you think of the kind of investments that will ideally form part of your passive income sources upon retirement. So in order for you to really take into consideration the retirement risk, you want to ensure that you are actually getting compensated for inflation with the return that you're getting in some of the investment options that you are going to choose. For those who do not know, inflation is the rate at which the prices of goods, services, and commodities goes up every year. And so that ideally should tell you that as inflation is growing, your money also needs to grow, but it needs to grow at a rate that actually compensates you for inflation. So you need to not only just get compensated for inflation, but to beat inflation, so that you can not only be able to sustain the current standard of living, but to also improve your standard of living in the future. So ensure that the rate of return, you understand the rate of return that you're getting on your investments throughout your retirement planning, and ensure that you're getting compensated for inflation. Now, throughout your working life, as you're doing retirement planning, I love to tell people that don't approach anything as if it is set on stone. You see, how investments are working right now is probably not going to be exactly the same as 20 years from now, and maybe then you're going to still be doing retirement planning. So remain aware of the changes in financial assets, the changes in investment assets, and just keep moving and working around your portfolio in a way that will, throughout the period that you're doing your retirement planning, keep you ahead of inflation. Lastly, take key consideration health risks that you face. Okay, I keep telling people time and time again that your health is your wealth. All right, so take care of yourself now, because the body that you will have when you're in your 50s and 60s, you're actually making it right now with what you're eating, with your health choices, with your lifestyle choices. if you understand how medical insurance works, right now you're not even paying much when it comes to medical care. When you're in your 70s and 80s, just paying annual medical insurance is an entire, I mean, it's a huge financial burden. So you want to ensure that now, when you're young, energetic, healthy, take care of this body that you have right now, because it's going to be the same. I mean, the results are going to be seen in your old age. So pay key attention to your health and lifestyle choices right now, to ensure that you live longer, and all the money that you saved up to enjoy during retirement doesn't go to medical care. So those are the 5 steps to retirement planning. I hope you found this video useful. If in case you have any comments or questions, just let me know in the comment section down below, and I'm going to be sure to respond to them. I will see you in the next episode of Finance Friday next week.